Hey, it's Luke here from Built by the Trade, back for another talk. And today I'll be talking about the business of upfront pricing versus hourly rate and sales. So when I first started out, I was on hourly rate, which is probably at that time $99 or $100 an hour I was charging, and I had a call out fee. I think it was like $150 or somewhere around that. So anyway, I'm on upfront pricing. I've been like that for the past 5 years or more. The first couple of years, I was on hourly rate because I didn't know how to sell jobs or how to really convey that message to the customers, not being on hourly rate, to upfront pricing, basically quoting before you begin any work. So what I've found is when you're on hourly rate, there's no room for growth in business. You basically don't even know what you should be charging, because the way I see it is everyone on hourly rate is basically charging whatever the next guy's charging to be in business, and they have never actually worked out how much they should be charging per hour each day to actually run a profitable business. So the way to work that out is, I worked it out through a coach that taught me through a pricing calculator. So basically you put all your overheads into a spreadsheet and just everything that costs to run a business. So your marketing, your sales, your uniforms, your trucks, your maintenance, insurance, just everything that it costs to run a business, and you have it all filled out, and then basically at the bottom it spits out a number so you can actually charge profitable per hour. And you can't do that through hourly rates, because it's going to be a lot higher hourly rates than what's expected from a customer, because everyone just thinks it's $100 an hour basically. From what I've experienced, and I've talked to a lot of trades, everyone thinks it's $100 an hour to run a business, and that's certainly not the case. So from there on in, the first thing you got to work out before you start doing upfront pricing is what it costs to run your business. And that could range from $200 an hour to $500 an hour. And it might shock you that when you first understand this, when you first actually do this calculator, it shocks you at the start, because you've been on hourly rate for so long. You're like, oh, how am I going to charge this amount of money to the client? And it's not through hourly rates, it's through upfront pricing. You're basically quoting each job before you start. But it's not just quoting one job, it's you're giving solutions to each job through options. So basically, once you work out how much your hourly rate is through a calculator, a labor rate calculator, which has got all your overheads in the business, it's going to spit out the number that you need to charge to be profitable per day. And in maintenance, say you do maintenance, you're only going to be at, I think it's about 5 hours. You're on the job, the rest is driving around, and that's all configured into this spreadsheet. So say you need to do each day to run at a 30% profit margin of $2,000, and you have 3 jobs, and your hourly rates, whatever it is, $300 an hour, $400 an hour. The way you're going to do this is you're doing it through options to what you've been called to by the homeowner. So if the homeowner's got leaking taps in the shower, you come to the site, introduce yourself to the customer. You go through there's a whole process you should be going through when you're going to be selling jobs. So I'm just going to touch on the base of it. So you go in there, you meet the customer, you start building rapport, and you start working out, what's going on. Okay, you got leaking shower taps, and you look at the taps and they're looking pretty crusty, old, bit pitted in different areas, and you're in the bathroom and you notice also you can hear the toilet or something. The toilet's running. These are just scenarios I'm just playing out to you so you can get an idea of how to do this or how it's done. So you're in the bathroom, you hear the toilet running while you're looking at the taps. They're like, oh, I've got leaking taps, and oh, well, it's just a washer needs to be changed or something like that. It's always, that's how the customer thinks, usually thinks anyway. And while you're there, you just sort of go, oh, okay, look, let me have a little look around, and you start going through, doing your inspection, and you look at the shower taps. Okay, they're just washer taps, but you know, they're pretty old and crusty. They're getting hard to turn on. You do a little test turning on and off, and then you work out in your head, okay, I'll do an option here. I can do an option here easily. So it could even be service, repair, service or replace or upgrade. So, or good, better, or best. That's sort of the term that people use. And then you see the toilets running, you can hear it filling up or leaking into the bowl or something. You go to the customer, okay, look, give us 5-10 minutes. I'm going to go back to my truck. I'll work out the best. I'll give you some options to see what you want to do here, the best, you know, scenario for you. See what you want to do, and you go back to your truck and you work out, because you know what you should be charging in upfront pricing. I'll back up a bit before you actually know what to charge per job. Usually, people have a price book written out for certain jobs, especially in maintenance companies. They have a price book they use for, so it's like a process that the technician uses on every job, so they know what to charge. So if you've got the price book set up, great. If you don't, basically you work it out yourself on the day. You can. So basically, if you're going to go with the shower taps, say you're going to go good, better, best, whatever it is, $250 to service the taps, replace them, $500 for standard wall top assembly, or you want to go to the quarter turn, say it's like $650. So you give the 3 options to the customer in however you write up on a piece of paper. You have it written up, their name, address, job number, date, everything like that. So you're basically writing out everything that's on this sheet of paper. There's 3 options, but also while you're there, you heard the toilet running as well. So you could even have 4 options on the toilet. So the inlet valve's faulty and it's overflowing into the toilet through the overflow of the outlet valve. Basically, you could even just give 4 options, but I usually like to start off with 3. Depending on the customer, you have to really choose, and you have to read your customer as well, how they're responding to when you're talking to them as well. There's a lot of different sort of aspects to it, but I'm just going over the top of it for now. But you basically go back in the house, say you've written up the quote and how you're going to present it, and you've also, you know, you've got the option there to fix the toilet. So you present the options, and you're going through the process with the customer, and you say to them, look, I've come here, I've had a look at the taps. They're old pitted, they're pretty old, and you know, I can service them, but also as well, it doesn't mean they're going to stay. You know, it's not going to be a permanent fix for a long time. Basically, by giving them the options, you're taking the conversation away from a yes or no answer. So you could go to them and go, okay, what would you like to do? Would you like to service them? Or look, I have these taps here, I can upgrade them, change them over to these standard taps, or I can change them over to these quarter turn taps, even better taps, a more premium tap. And you're explaining the options to the customer. Oh, and also, while I was there, I heard your toilet was leaking, but look, if you don't want to do that today, we don't have to, but I'm just letting you know with the shower taps, these are the options I can give you. Either service them, replace them with these taps, or standard sort of wall top assemblies, or a premium sort of quarter turn wall top assembly. So you've taken the conversation away from just going there, it needs a tap washer, to changing the conversation. I've got options to move here, so I could either go with a service here, like the customers thing. I've got options to. I feel like I want to upgrade these taps. So you just explain your options to the customer, and then they get to choose what would suit them. Plenty of times I've had customers that want to upgrade to the most premium type of taps, and you already have how much it costs to have the taps supplied and installed on the side of each option, so they can see the exact price, and then basically you just present with what they want to choose. They choose what they want, and then you basically just once they choose what they want to do, they could just want to service them. Great, they can service them. If they want to upgrade, they can go to upgrade, or you know, go to the premium type of branded taps. But you're basically just taking the conversation away from yes or no, and it's giving them options to move. And you're also taking it from a $250 sale to it could be a $600 sale. So that's just off one lead. So that's the way, knowing your numbers, knowing how to, well, you got to learn how to sell really to be selling at higher ticket numbers. But just by knowing your numbers and giving options, you can increase your business revenue one lead at a time. So I'll come back to this on the next story, but there's a lot to go into with sales. So whatever you learned today, I hope you learned something. And if you like to subscribe, like the channel, leave a comment. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for tuning in.